A caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I am, of course, your host, Michael Calderese, coming to you from my very, very, very hot room upstairs. My AC broke, but have no fear. My guy, Zach Campbell, is here from Integrity Heating and Cooling, man. He came like I sent him a message late yesterday. He said, bro, you got a baby. I'll be right over. He came over, something with my flux capacitor. I have a vent. It's not blowing on me yet, but I have been in the heat all day, and I'm in the heat right now, but I'm not in as much heat as the Trump administration and as Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and all these people that have really made some unforced errors. That's sad to see. Honestly, it's sad to see. I think we all had a little more hope for this, and I hope it changes a little bit, but that's not what this show is going to be about tonight. Just something I wanted to say. The caltrop tonight is going to be a defense against bullshit in a bigger way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take two stories and really break them down pretty good. As far as the Tucker Carlson interview with the Iranian president, it's very interesting. Iran, they have a supreme leader, religious, and then they have their president, and it's, their system to me is batshit fucking crazy. But he has a conversation with him. And I credit him, and I don't credit him at the exact same time. We will get to that. We have basically. I can't remember his name. Sorry, we have Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie sat down with Theo Von in a phenomenal interview. Theo Von, in his fun way, does a very good job of asking questions in just like a, hey, man, this doesn't make sense to like a regular average white idiot dude. Like, he plays that card. He's smarter than he thinks. But he asks these questions in a very, very basic way, and Thomas is able to give them. I've been saying for a long time, Thomas Massie is the best in Congress. And today we're gonna take a deep dive into him, and we're really gonna talk about this aspect. It's something I want you to think about. It's what the Mike's Right's going to be about coming up soon. It's about confident liars. It's about how people say things and the way they say things and the manner with how they say them. And you think that they are truthful because of how they're saying it, but the entire time they're lying to you. And now what you're seeing is the truth. They're trying to tell you that to believe them now and not to believe them back then. And it's a very interesting thing that we watch take place over and over and over again. And I don't know why we do it. So we're going to touch on Bondi and Cash a little bit. I'm going to tell you why I'm being so hard on these people like I've been doing. We have Supreme Court Ketanji Brown Jackson. We have a little bit of Trump. We have a whole bunch of a lot of things that made me laugh. We have an uncle, handing money to some boys. We have a great packed show for you tonight. So get ready, share this. I appreciate it. You can be caltrops too. All you have to do is open your ears, think, listen, ask the right questions, and share the fuck out of this after fingering the hell out of my like button. Let's get the show started. All right, do you ever notice how confident liars never apologize? They just clarify. They're comical. It's hysterical. Saying things like, I really didn't mean what you heard me say that time, but this time I'm really telling you the truth. Trust me, I mean it. It's like, no, you didn't misspeak. You power slid into a lie, hoping we were too distracted by fireworks to notice. Some people lie with such straight faces that it's like they practice it in the mirror with Satan as their fucking life coach. All right, now, listen, this is Satan. Look dead inside their eyes, Chad. No blinking. Now go sell that war for us and sell us more bombs. Confidence, or saying something with confidence, to me, is what runs the world. It's what all powerful liars possess. So let's talk about confidence a little bit. And not the kind of confidence that gets you date or gets you chicks. I mean the kind of confidence that makes people say absolute nonsense, boldly, loudly, and with charge. We're living in an era where people don't just lie. They lecture you about the lie while they're doing it. Like they're the professor of a subject they failed. And we believe them because they say it. Like, you know, it's really confident how they say it. It's like watching a TED Talk hosted by your cousin who sells DVDs and got kicked out of community college. It's like the pandemic. I had people look at me dead in the eye saying the virus was definitely made in a bat cave, but also it was definitely made in a lab. But it was definitely come from a suit. And Fauci said it wasn't gain of function, so it must be true. But that's a game now. Say it like you mean it and hope nobody checks the fine print. But here's the philosophical point. And you guys know I love getting philosophical about this stuff. Do we know anything for real? Do we know what truth is? History? Who is it written by? Science? What science? Whose science? Theoretical science? Meaning theory, but somehow it's also unquestionable gospel? And let's talk history for a second. Do we know what's real or true historically? I was told the Jewish people are God's chosen people, right? Ancient, divine, before everyone. Okay. But they're one of the smallest populations on earth. No empire, no massive land holdings. You're God's original VIPs. Where's the real estate? Where's the Jewish strip clubs with $5 spinner like a dreidel hour? You'd think you'd at least have a frequent flyer pass to Heaven Airlines. But you don't. Is that history? But then you look at the Middle East. Israel says one thing, Iran says another. Who's right? Well, that depends on who taught you the history that you know. In America, we say Israel is good, Iran is evil. In Iran, they say Israel is the devil, and the U.S. is the loud devil's white cousin. In Palestine, they say we exist. In college campuses, they say we have no idea, but we're going to fucking scream about it anyway. But let's bring it back to our own backyards. Trump once called Thomas Massie a third-rate grandstander. So now everyone calls him a do-nothing. Do nothing. But do you even know who he is? Massie's out there doing real interviews with actual logic. But no one listens because Trump gave him a nickname. That's how politics works now. Give someone a roast name, and then nobody listens to what they actually stand for. Massie could cure cancer tomorrow. And someone would go, yeah, but that's a do-nothing guy, right? Didn't he say no to a bridge once? It's like, no, bitch. He said no to your bridge because it was in Alaska, and you live in Kentucky. Thomas Massie is one of the only people that's actually true to what he believes in, and they're scared of it because he lives on a fucking homestead. Now, here's my favorite part. The experts. The experts used to be people who were right. Now they're just people with titles, Twitter accounts, and a habit of getting everything wrong while sounding certain. We went from cloud seeding is a conspiracy to no, really, it's a government seeding tool used responsibly by people with degrees. It's like, okay. I had one idiot tell me the other day, hey, man, I'm a meteorologist. You don't know shit about cloud seeding. Everyone's all of a sudden a meteorologist expert. He's like, I know what I'm talking about. Really? You know what you're talking about. You guys told me it would be sunny. I planned to barbecue. It hailed. Your 5-day forecast is about as reliable as a meth addict promising this is my last time. But now I'm supposed to believe you when you say geoengineering doesn't exist, or that cloud seeding is harmless, or it can't possibly create this much rain. No way. I'll point this out, meteorologists. You're not even right about the rain. That's your one job. You're like a butcher who keeps cutting off his own thumb and going, trust me, I'm trained. It's okay. You're always wrong. But you're right. So here's the question I want to ask every single one of you. What do you really know? Not what you believe, not what you heard, and not what you were posted with confidence. What do you actually truly know? Because we've all become parrots with Wi-Fi. People would post a 3-paragraph AI-generated comment about a water table in Yemen. And when you ask them, where the hell is Yemen on a map? They say, isn't that near Houston somewhere? We're out here copy and pasting with confidence and no receipts. And if you ask questions, you're a denier, you're a traitor, or worse, a free thinker. So to me, here's the philosophical conclusion. Maybe, just maybe, we all don't know everything. And we don't know anything. It's a possibility. Maybe we're all just screaming into a void, hoping our opinions stick to the wall like spaghetti. But what's awesome about America is some people, they're selling that spaghetti for $19.99 a month with a coupon code and a merch store. Isn't that funny? And that, my friends, is what makes America truly great. Not truth, not knowledge, but the confidence to be completely, absolutely, totally wrong and still go viral and still have fans and still be able to come out the next day with something totally different that you said yesterday, and everyone still believes you. Good night, next experts. Stay strong and stay loud because you don't mean shit to me anymore. Experts, all you people with confidence, I love you. You're great. You make me laugh. All right. Let me know where the hell I was wrong. That's the Mike's Right. Shut the fuck up and listen. And I'm going to get myself into the chat. I know the other day I could not see the chat. For some reason, it was going all weird on me, but thank you guys very much for being here. Yankee 68, Jake Calda, I got to figure out how to finish. I had to figure out how to get the chat for the Facebooks and the YouTubes on these other streams. If anyone knows how to do that, please get in touch with me. I know we have my man Mike from PT Pod. He can figure it out and let me know how that works. So I'm going to touch base with him. But we have Jake Calda, Anthony Calderis in the chat. He says, I'm in. He finally found it. My own brother could not find my show for a little while, so he is in. Boondock Guy, A Goon. Every one of my favorite people. There we are. There's Fresh Mike. Check Fresh Mike out on all of his shows. I was laughing my ass off today on the Nooner Show. Him and Vern kind of get into it. Vern said something about all people should go to therapy, and Mike kind of disagreed. Vern kind of was like, no, fuck you. And Mike's like, no, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't really take place. But it was a very interesting, very intelligent debate going back and forth. If you haven't checked out that Nooner Show, he does a great job. And I think everyone should check it out. What do we have here? E-Piece, you're good looking. You're smart. You have big muscles, bigger than McD. Okay, I don't know who we're talking about, but I hope that's me. I do have big muscles, and I think I'm smart. Hell, I think everyone's just saying everything about that. Are we taking bets? It's not plugged into anything. $10 says it's not. It ran into his pocket. And you Tang Forever says, have a night. You Tang Forever, have a night. That's an interesting phrase. Usually my buddy Jeff Lawson says, have a night. I hope that's Jeff. He usually checks us out on Facebook, and his awesome wife, Victoria. But let me know what you think about the Mike's Right. Shut the fuck up and listen. I hope you did like it. Let's get into the show here. And once again, like last time, I have not really figured out how to manipulate this thing yet. I sent in a message to StreamYard. We're going to see kind of how it works out. So what I think I want to do is start off with this Tucker and Iran stuff. Tucker, if you have not watched this, Tucker, what I do like about what he's doing is he's interviewing very tough. He's speaking to people that usually we're not supposed to be speaking to. And one of the things I think that everyone's afraid of is people speaking and using words, because words are powerful. That was the whole point of the Mike's Right segment, because all of these confident words are powerful. You have to listen to what people are saying and how they're saying it, and does it contradict itself? And a lot of the times it does. And a lot of the times they're lying right to your face, but they're saying it perfectly. And I think you saw that with Tucker. Now, here's the problem. I know a lot of people that said that, listened to that interview, and are like, Iran's not that bad. I listened to that interview, and everyone knows, everyone's been watching me. I have been against bombing them, not because I like Iran, not because I think they don't want to kill us or any of that stuff, for many other reasons. But it wasn't about that. I gave that country a real shot. But when you listen to some of the things that came out of this guy's mouth and you're able to parse them, What they do, this is the people that know how to manipulate, and it's the media. They all know how to do this, and Iran does this very, very, very slickly, especially with everything that they put out to their own people. They will give you a partial truth and then fill in the rest of the stories with lies. I've said this about the media plenty of times. And it's just interesting when you get into all these questions that Tucker asked him. And let's get into some of them. He said, I'm not afraid to die. No, that's the wrong one. Once again, sorry. What is Iran meaning of this? This is one of the best things I heard. Yes, let's start off here. It's not the beginning of this, but I'm going to play a couple of these. One of the questions when I was listening to this, it came towards the end when I was listening to this interview. I'm like, ask him about Death to America. Ask him about Death to America. I wanted to know what this guy was going to say to it, and here it is.
And this is my proposal to the United States, not to be fooled by Netanyahu, not to be dragged into this kind of war.
Many Americans are afraid of Iran. You say you're not afraid, but Americans are afraid of Iran. And they believe that Iran would like to strike the United States with a nuclear weapon. They see video of Iranians saying death to America, describing our country as the great Satan. What is your opinion of that? Should we be afraid of Iran?
I believe that this is a very wrong impression that anybody might have of Iran or the Iranians. I would like to remind you that Iran has never invaded another country in the last 200 years. When they say death to the United States, it doesn't mean death to, they don't mean death to the people of the United States or even to the officials of the United States. They mean death to crimes, death to killing and carnage, death to supporting killing others, death to insecurity and instability. This is, have you ever heard that an Iranian killing an American? Have you ever heard that? Or a terrorist that was Iranian and he carried out a terrorist attack against the Americans? No, it was your president who confessed that the Americans created the ISIS in our region.
So I want to give this guy a little bit of time to talk because I want your opinion on this. This is going to be an interactive show. I could actually read the chat tonight. Hey, we got $5 from A Goon, $2 from Boondock Guy. I have $7. We are big rolling here. Big rolling. Thank you guys very much. But this is going to be interactive because I want to know your take on some of these videos. I want to know how you see it, how you view this. If you're not watching live, put it in the chat anyway. Let me know what you're thinking about this because when I listened to that, first off, the first thing that jumped out at me is how they say Netanyahu. It's like not the Yahoo, not the Yahoo, not the. I wasn't even understanding who they were talking about at first, and then they kept saying not the Yahoo, not the Yahoo, not the Yahoo, and he sounded like something. He sounded like something out of Whoville, right? So I put down the Who Netanyahu. Let's go. Here, check this one out. There he is. Look at him. There's Netanyahu. There's not the Yahoo. There is not the Yahoo. I fucking love not the Yahoo. You gotta love Grok. Grok, put that together for us. Great. You gotta love it. But Boondock Guy says, why would Tucker say we are afraid? We want to know how I know Tucker is gay. He's scared of Iran. I'm not afraid of Iran. You guys have been knowing this. I'm not afraid of Iran. That's one of the things that bothered me about this whole Tucker thing. And I'll touch on this before I even get to this thing. Tucker, he asked questions like he was capitulating to get this guy on. And when you want to do those things, you don't ask the real hard questions. I know from experience of this because I did the brick breakdown and I had the mayor on and there's a couple things I could have hammered her on. But I wanted them to all come back. So I didn't do it. I asked him very appeasing but informative questions, right? So he did the same thing. But if you just take the Ted Cruz interview that we played earlier and you take this one, you put them side by side. It's like, Tucker, you hammered Ted Cruz. You fucking hammered him for lying to your face. And here you go. You have the guy from Iran that's lying to your face. He's telling you that death to America doesn't mean death to America. Death to America really means death to killing. The hell does that even mean, death to killing? Means that killing needs to die? Now, I had a kid I worked with, and I asked him that. What is jihad? And he was a very intelligent young kid. He was who you would classify as a very good representative of the Muslim faith. And he said what jihad was to them was the war against yourself. So if you want to go when you're married and you want to go bang other chicks, you go to war with yourself not to do it. So you act right. If you wanted to drink or you want to do all this, going on jihad is a war amongst themselves. But the problem is the way that Quran is written, that war amongst themselves could really be misinterpreted to mean a war against everyone who doesn't do this. So when you hear these words like death to this, death to this, death to this, it's the manner in which the death takes place. If you think about that from the philosophical way, how do they have death to killing? Well, they have to kill. It says that in the Bible. It says that in the Quran. And there's no other place that I know of, and you guys answer this in the chat. I know we have Big E McD who's big into the Bible. Name another religion that tells you to commit suicide, all in the name of the religion, to be a martyr. These people are not afraid of being martyrs. These people want to be martyrs. Listen to this.
Person will die and give up his life. And once again, I would like to emphasize that we are not afraid of martyrdom. We are not afraid of sacrificing our lives for our people, for our independence. And I would like to tell you that this imposed war by the Israeli regime resulted in one thing, and that was more solidarity and unity amongst the Iranian people. And
Now, I agree with that. We just attacked and bombed the shit out of them. What happened to our 9/11? When we got attacked, we got bombed. It brought every single person in America together. We just made Iran more unified. Whatever that means doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean a damn thing. But these are people that martyrdom, dying for their religion, dying for that type of religion. When you have that religious mindset, and he talks about the Ayatollah, the supreme religious leader. This is where you're getting death to killing comes in the form of death to a lot of the more maniac Muslims out there, and it depends on where you at. Is Iran the maniac Muslim country that we're being told they are? That's why I'm saying, is that the truth? I think it leans towards it. When you listen to some of these, it's absolutely unbelievable. Let me play one or two more of these guys. I think this is Iran. Do you want peace? I think that's Do you want peace? Once again, I'm trying to work this all out when I have no idea how to do this. How to move everything around. They changed everything on me. But let's listen to one more of these.
President Donald Trump has said that the United States bombed your enrichment facilities because the government of Iran refused to give up its nuclear program, and that there can be no peace until Iran does give up that nuclear program. Would you be willing to give up the nuclear program in exchange for peace?
I would like to tell you what has happened, and it was Netanyahu since 1984 has created this false mentality that Iran seeks a nuclear bomb, and it has insinuated that Iran is trying to develop a nuclear bomb in the past, and it has put it in the minds of every U.S. president since then, and to make them believe that we would like to have a nuclear bomb. But the truth is that we have never been after developing a nuclear bomb, not in the past, not presently, or in the future, because this is wrong, and this is in contrast to the religious decree or the fatwa, which has been issued by His Eminence, the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, that so it is religiously forbidden for us to go after a nuclear bomb. And this was always corroborated thanks to our cooperation with IAEA, because they were always there to verify this.
So what the IAEA verified was they had more enriched uranium to 60% than every other country that didn't have a nuclear weapon. So they had a whole hell of a lot there. But do you hear what they say? They're talking about morality. You can't. Killing is bad. We're not gonna create a nuclear weapon. So they said it confidently. We are not interested in a nuclear weapon. But then they say because killing is wrong. And by religious decree, killing is wrong? No, by your religion, killing is okay. That is what we know about your religion. I know that for a fact. There's multiple places in the Quran that talks about killing being okay. This is part of your crazy religion. So when he talks about not wanting a nuclear weapon, and I'm sorry, I can't find the one that I wanted to talk about. But when he talks about finding a nuclear weapon, do you hear how these people say this? When you're listening to this guy, I'm listening to him the same way I am honestly listening to Netanyahu. And my conclusion is they're both full of shit. They're both lying to you. They're both murderers. They're both insane. They will kill whoever they need to kill to get their way. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Joe Biden did that shit. Trump's killing whoever he needs to kill to get his way. It doesn't matter. But when you come out and you say it's not true, I'm not doing those things, really? No. Please, I'm the nicest guy on the planet. Tucker asked him a lot of different questions. Do you want peace? He didn't ask him. He asked about sleeper cells. That's the one I wanted to see. Can I find sleeper cells? He was talking about sleeper cells in America, and he said, would you stand up? Here we go. This is the one I've been wanting for you. Sleeper cells. Would you listen to Tucker's question? I'm not going to repeat it for him.
Some large number of Iranian nationals living in the United States. Some have said they are, quote, sleeper cells. They are terrorists who are acting at the command of your government. Would you right now make a statement to Iranian citizens living in the United States not to commit acts of violence in the United States?
You see, these things you're telling me, this is the first time I'm hearing them from you or from anybody. The Iranians are known for their knowledge, for their science, for their courtesy, for being civilized. Have you seen otherwise from them? Any other kind of behavior from them, or any violent behavior? Has anybody ever seen anything from them? Yeah. As I said, this is what Israel is trying to put into your minds. They are propagating that Iranians might be capable of doing such a thing, but this is totally untrue.
I love when before you hear like the weird voice that's over talking on my hero. It's like, and then it starts talking. But is that guy? Did you hear the way he answered that question? He asked you point blank, will you say, do not do anything to the sleeper cells in New York? And he didn't answer with, no, hell yeah, man. I'm not looking for any problems. He answers with, do you know and the Iranians to do anything bad? No. We're all very good people. We're very good people. Iranians, we're very, very, giving, generous. We gave Iran how many missiles? That was generous. We gave them over there. They explode. Now they get to build new buildings. Dude, it's the way the guy answered no. Yes, I do not want Americans to die. He didn't say that, did he? He did not say it. That's like Gavin Newsom. I'm staring right at Gavin Newsom. Fresh Mike says, it's me in his ear telling him to ignore his chat. Fuck you, man. I'm just kidding. Agoon's laughing at him. Boondock Guy says, you have to ask an extremist what jihad is, and you'll get a totally different answer. Exactly. I think if you ask an extremist what jihad is, it is kill all the infidels that don't live up to the meaning of what they believe that the Quran is. The problem with religion, I tell everyone this, all religion is due to interpretation. If you read the Bible one way, you could perceive it one way. If you read it a different way, you could read the same exact thing and take something totally different from it. Words, though, are key, right? So they're there's sections of the Bible that they talk about violence, and who was it? Somebody in the chat spoke about Christians killing people. Yes, Christians definitely kill people too. And there are some parts of the Bible where they talk about killing people. I mean, hell, the God himself fucking mass murdered a whole bunch of people. If this stuff is in the Bible, it's in all the Bibles. The difference is how do you follow a guy who banged a 9-year-old, who married a 6-year-old, consummated the marriage at 9, had multiple wives, how do you follow this guy and then claim any type of morality? How are you cool with killing and then once again claim morality? You either have morals or you don't, or you have warped morals. That works as well. That works as well. Jay Calvin says it's been that way since the beginning of Islam. They kill themselves willingly. Well, that part's in the Bible, or I mean in the Quran. Once again, there's no other book, there's no other religion that tells you to go ahead and kill yourself and blow yourself up. I mean, the Japanese were doing it, and somebody said fall on the Japanese sword already. And I read that comment. The Japanese used to do it, and the Japanese killed themselves, but that was out of shame. But you had kamikaze pilots that were, I spend all the guns and fucking I'm going out. Let's go. So I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Didn't Noah, Boondock says, didn't Noah have a bunch of wives? Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he did have a bunch of wives. Good for him. I'm cool with that too. But was he banging 9-year-olds? Because if Noah was banging 9-year-olds, I'd have a problem with Noah as well. Well, that's all I wanted to do on Iran, because we have to give this stuff a really good view. And I sometimes I don't want to just hammer the news over and over and over again. I want to take interesting conversations and really dissect them, lay them out for people so they can easily understand these things. And if you didn't take the whole 30 minutes to watch it, I hope you got a snippet of it. And this is what you're going to hear over and over and over again. Like I said, you're going to hear that partial truth. Then you're going to hear all the horse shit that was filled into it. My verdict, that guy is completely full of shit. But I'm still, in no way, shape, or form did that change my thoughts. I'm not afraid of those people. I think they don't have any type of capability. I think they're a bunch of bitches. It's all talk, no action. And everything that guy said is wrong. They even lost their last war with Iran. He said, when's the last time Iran invaded people? In 1980 something you did. Fucking stupid son of a bitch. I have one more thing to put on this. This is PBD. When throughout all of my listening to the Iran, the people talk about Iran and all this stuff, PBD from the PBD podcast, this is 2 minutes with this guy. He's going to wrap it up for us. He does the best job, to me, of really spelling out the meaning of this death to America. And then you be your own judge of all this after you hear this.
Okay. To me, Tom, I think Iraq attacked Iran the moment Shah fell and they saw weakness, and that's where the opportunity came in with Saddam. I don't think Khomeini had a bone of military background in him to know how to have any kind of attacks being done. So they were exposed because he killed off a couple thousand of Shah's generals and colonels and leaders. So their military was dismantled, and Iraq saw that as an opportunity. But again, that's a war that happened. It cost a lot of innocent people's lives. But for them to say nothing, the amount of fatwas Khomeini put, didn't Khomeini put a fatwa on Salman Rushdie? They put so many fatwas. Even, Ruhollah Khamenei recently said death upon America. They talked about John Bolton. They talked about all these other guys. Stop with this nonsense bullshit that you're all innocent and it's not death upon America. When I was in Iran and we would learn how to write, it's so important. Iranians take writing very seriously, and they would teach you how to write like,
it's like art.
Honestly, it was like I would have a hard time with it because it was like art the way you would write.
It's a hieroglyphic.
And the way you would go. It was
amazing.
So beautiful.
Yep.
Iran gave us Hafiz. Iran gave us Rumi. Iran gave us some of the most incredible poets of all time. So what is poetry? Words. What do words have? A lot of power. You mean to tell me that you can say death upon America and you don't really mean what it means? Let me get this straight for you. You say something like that to an average guy who may take it. Do you know when we had the professor that came from Harvard that was doing a study about
the police brutality?
Was there really a bias
Fryer.
on police attacks on blacks?
That's right, police attacks on blacks. And he came up with the report a couple times, and he went on Barry Weiss, if you remember, and then we brought him in here. Do you know what was the other research he was doing? Do you know what was the other research he was doing that he was going to be launching?
What?
The impact of hip-hop. You know how they say CIA was involved with hip-hop? The impact that hip-hop had on kids.
the impact that hip hop had on kids is very interesting too. Just to clarify on what he was saying, it's interesting because he said hip hop did not influence the black community in a negative way because they were living hip hop. What it did was actually negatively affected the suburbs and white kids because they started acting like they were living in a place that they didn't. It was very interesting research. That was real research. But that was PBD. I think you did a great job as far as breaking that down for us. You mean what you say. When you say death to America, I don't care if you say not the American people. I don't care about any of that stuff. This is what I care about. If you want our system to be dead, that's going to bring with it many, many, many American lives. It's going to kill many, many American lives. So when you chant death to America, you are in fact chanting and wishing for the death of the regular American people. And that's, sir, where you're a fucking liar. Let's move on to Thomas Massie because I appreciate it. Last comments on this. Yankee 68 says, I'm not listening. I'm still at the Legion enjoying some adult beverages. Wanted to pop in and say, hey, that is dedication. Yankee 68, that is fucking dedication. I know you can't hear what I'm saying, but you are in the chat and you're not even listening to me. I hope you do turn it back on later. Let's get into Thomas Massie because who is this guy? Is he the moron that they're making him out to be? Have you ever listened to him talk? Have you ever listened to him speak? Do you know where he stands? Do you know how he lives? This dude is an MIT graduate who lives on a homestead. This is a dude who lives completely off the grid, who bought a RV so where he could go to Congress, park in a parking lot, and he was plugging into the power chargers for the electric cars, so we could have run AC in it. This is a guy that lives completely self-sustaining, no matter what he does, and he's figured it out. He's so fucking smart. Like I watch the show Homestead Rescue all the time. I love that show. It's a show about the Rainey family. They come in, they save these homesteaders. It's hysterical though because they're starving homesteaders and they're all fat. Every single one of them are fat fucks. It's no wonder why your homestead's failing. You got to get up and work. You're too fat. You definitely don't work on your homestead. But anyway, I love the show. And they have to teach these people how to homestead. This guy is so smart. He created his own basically chicken cage that was able to self-move. So the chickens weren't standing in their own poop. They could eat the grass, they could eat the bugs, and then the whole thing moves so they have a whole new fresh area. And at the same time, it fertilizes the shit out of your land. Yes, fertilizes the shit from shit. Yes, correct. This guy's got his whole homestead to where it can operate basically remotely from when he's still when he goes to Washington and he lives in Kentucky. This is the type of person that they're dealing with. He's not a guy that needs a lot. That's why he votes no on all this stuff. That's why he stands on principle. He doesn't need anything. He's the dude that's free. He's the one that we look up to going, man, I wish I was that guy. Because there's not a zero fuck given with him. If he loses his job, he goes to his farm where he's at anyway. It's very interesting, but let's listen to just a couple things because, man, did he make a lot of sense. And I have a number of different videos for you, but let's play a couple. This was very, very interesting. Let's start right here because this is a question I think every single one of us have been asking for a very long time. Who do we owe money to? When we talk about a $37 trillion debt, what does that mean and who do we owe? Theo Von asked that.
Got it. And it's obviously it's a cycle that we've been in for a long time. I think to the point where like the national debt doesn't even make sense to people, right? It's like, here's my question is, who do we owe the money to?
Some of it is owed to institutional investors like the big banks in the United States. Some of it is owed to sovereign wealth funds like China, Japan, other countries that buy our debt for us. And here's the problem. Right now, they're telling us we don't want to buy your debt at 2% or 3% or 4%. We want at least 5% return. And so everybody thinks the Federal Reserve is setting interest rates. You know, there's all this discussion. Will the Fed raise the rate? Will the Fed lower the rate? The reality right now is the Fed can't do much, because if they lower the rate to, let's say, 4%, and try to tell people to buy our debt at 4%, the people who normally buy our debt, those foreign countries and those institutional investors, are saying, you're not a good investment at 4%. We want 5%. And that's a big problem, because just to put it in perspective, you know, let's round this number. If it were $30 trillion and we were paying 5%, that is $16,000 per family. I've already done the math. I'm not doing all that in my head right now, but it's $16,000 per family of interest that we are paying.
Got it.
So did you hear that? Jay Calda says Massie is a closet Democrat. He's a closet Democrat. He said he is smart, but he's still a Democrat. He votes 100% of the time with them. There's a big difference, Jay Calda, to me, in voting against something and voting with something. Okay, this is a guy that votes against things that are ridiculous. And when you have things that are ridiculous, why should he vote for this? He voted no every single time with Biden. Why should he vote yes when it's the same exact bill with a couple of Trump sprinkles on top of it? That's really what we're getting. Why should he say yes to this? It's not that he votes with the Democrats. He votes against the shit Republicans that are not doing their jobs like they say that they're going to do. They all talk like this guy. They all say the exact same thing. He's the only one that actually did it. Right? This is really what he wants. And this isn't so bad. Tell me what's wrong with the things that he's saying. This is, once again, when I go crazy, these are the things that they told us they wanted to do. And it's amazing to me that we don't hold these people accountable for the things they said they were going to do when they didn't do it.
So the biggest, I'll tell you right now, this would be 50% of solving the problem. If it's not a silver bullet, but it's a lot of it. Get rid of the giant bills. Okay. The omnibus bills, the continuing resolutions, and even the big, beautiful bill. Mm-hmm. Why not put that shit on the floor one at a time?
I agree.
And then that way you can go to your representative or your senators and say, why did you vote for that? Right now they can say, well, Theo, I had to vote for it. I had a pay raise for soldiers, right? They literally will put a pay raise for soldiers in every freaking bill, giant bill, so that if you vote against it, you have to go back home and watch TV ads that say he voted against a pay raise for the soldiers.
Right. Even though he may have voted for 90 other amazing things on the bill, right?
Right.
And that was one thing that was tied in there, that if you went this way, you know,
yeah,
it may have been like oxygen for grandmothers, right?
Literally, there probably is that in there.
But if you vote for oxygen for grandmothers, and they're not going to give. So I see what you're saying.
I voted against oxygen for grandmothers so many times they can't even run that ad anymore. It doesn't even seem real.
Hotels in Las Vegas.
So, I mean, is that wrong what he said? Is any of that wrong? I don't think so. I don't think that sounds like a Democrat to me. To me, it sounds very common sense. He goes on. I'll play a couple of these really quick for you guys because I think you need to hear it. What is in the big beautiful bill?
It's not going to help our debt.
No. That's the first big lie that's told about the big beautiful bill. You can finagle the numbers. Mm-hmm. The big beautiful bill looks at a 10-year spending window. Okay. And what it does is in the next 5 years, it's going to add to the deficit. Like nobody disputes that. Even the number crunchers that work for the president know that's going to happen. What they're claiming is 5 years from now, it will start to break even and reduce the deficit. The problem is the people I serve with, a lot of them aren't going to be there 5 years from now.
Right.
The President Trump's not going to be there 5 years from now. This big, beautiful bill doesn't force people 5 years from now to do that. It suggests that they should do that, and it will do that unless somebody does something different. But they're going to do something different 5 years from now. We'll get to that point, and they'll say, oh my gosh, that Congress 5 years ago set up a fiscal cliff. We're going to be hit with tax increases on seniors. We're going to be hit with tax on tips. We're going to be hit with tax on overtime. Oh my gosh, the military's not going to get as much money as it got last year. We got to do something about this. And so what they'll do is they'll cut taxes again and they'll increase spending again. And this deficit will never go down. And I'm not even talking about the debt. The deficit is how much you add to the debt every year. It's about $2 trillion. It's going to be above $2 trillion next year. And for as far as the eye can see.
But
I mean, did you hear that? That's incredible rationale. That's not a Democrat. That's a dude saying, listen, I'm onto your fucking game. You guys use these fear tactics, and you bring it up, and you raise taxes, and you lower, and then you're playing this whole shell game. And then the new group of people are going to come in, and of course, they have to do something. So in 5 years, they're going to have their new big, beautiful bill. And the part that bothers me is Boondock Guy says it was never supposed to help the debt. Bullshit. Every one of them campaigned on it. Every Republican campaigns on lowering the debt ceiling, and every single Republican votes for raising it. Yes, it was supposed to lower the debt. They're even saying, oh, we have $1.7 trillion in cuts over 10 years, a couple $100 billion a year. That's great, but that's not what they campaigned on. Not anything close to what any of these guys campaigned on. I got one more. This to me was the absolute best part of the entire interview with Massie. And I listened to all 2.5 hours of it today because some parts were very interesting, but this man is very smart. But he's talking about the speech debate clause. Have you ever heard of this?
Say it. There's something in the Constitution called the speech or debate clause. Mm-hmm. And so I can go to the floor of the House of Representatives and lie. I can tell every lie I want and nobody can do anything about it. And it's called the speech or debate clause. Our staff, look this up.
The speech or debate clause found in Article 1, Section 6 of the U.S. Constitution protects members of Congress from being questioned in any other place for their speech or debate in either house. So let me read it again. Protects members of Congress from being questioned in any other place.
Which means you can't be questioned in a courtroom. You can't be sued.
No way.
You can't be. Now read the next sentence though, because there's a good reason for it.
This clause, rooted in historical struggles for parliamentary independence, aims to safeguard the independence and integrity of the legislative branch by preventing interference from the executive or judicial branches.
So, so when people, even our founders, this is a hard pill to swallow.
Okay.
But
I'm still a bit confused at this moment.
Well, even our founders thought that there were some laws that shouldn't apply to congressmen because if they did, they would get abused. And like a Democrat president would arrest members of Congress for saying things on the floor of the House. Because that's what the king did back in England. The king would arrest members of parliament if he didn't like what they said.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Or you could get a private individual to sue a member of Congress for something they said. And then that would basically freeze the debate and members of Congress would be afraid to speak. They would send their speeches to lawyers before they said them, if this didn't exist.
I see what you're saying.
So this is kind of a fascinating little part of our Constitution. And even though it seems wrong to give members of Congress extra First Amendment protection, the founders thought this was the best way to do it.
So you could go to court right now and lie on the stand?
No. I can lie about anything, but I got to be on the floor of the House, or it has to be attached to my official business. So
isn't that amazing? The only place where you can lie is on the floor of the House by law, by Constitution. Listen, I love the Constitution. I am a fundamentalist of the Constitution. I think it was a brilliant, brilliant document. I'm not going to say it's absolutely perfect, but the best part about the Constitution is they gave us an ability to change it. That's something that needed to be changed. That is absolutely insane. That the only place where they can lie is to the people of the United States. The Constitution doesn't mean anything if everyone can stand up and just lie to your face. What does it mean? I I struggle with this. It's like, I get the reasoning behind it, sort of. But it's the same kind of reason that they gave me on why they're able to get rich off of stocks, why they're able to insider trade, but nobody else is. These things should not be legal. You should be held accountable for the lies that you're told when you're an officer of the government, when you're an elected official. You should be jailed for lying. I don't care what president it was. The problem is, what is the lie? And that brings us all the way back. We circle right back to the truth and the confidence. And what is it? It's very interesting. Let's see what we have. Boondock Guy says Trump won't get anything passed after this, so they had to do something now. I don't disagree with that. I think these people, I said this before. This is where I disagree with Massie. I would love if they broke it up into 5 bills, but I would love it more if the Republicans didn't campaign on it and lie to my face about it. This is what they said they wanted to do. So yeah, do I wish they were able to do 6 different things in 1 year? We know we're asking way too much, and don't you think that is the problem? Yankee 68 says, honestly, I probably would not have voted for the big, beautiful bill. It's still too much crap money being given out just for votes. 100%. That's 100%. And then he goes, I listened to this interview, and this is bullshit that they could say whatever they want. Boondock Guy says, I bet the mayor had Bolo in his truck right now. Fucking freeloader Bolo. The mayor has the same. What the fuck? I guess I don't know what Bolo means. And Boondock says the government doesn't make money. It's designed to spend, and hence why it needs to shrink, is what Yankee 68 followed up. I mean, he is active in the chat while not even listening. You gotta love that. All right, so let's move on really quick from there. Really appreciate you guys chiming in with that. And I hope you got a better understanding of who Thomas Massie is. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I hear certain things that, you know, when you throw those general lobs, he's a Democrat because of this, we have to listen to what he's actually saying and see if we agree with it. Then if you have afterwards, okay, yeah, he's a smart guy, I do agree with him, but he's still a fucking Democrat. Cool, I'm with that as well. Let's talk to a couple quick stories, couple quick follow-up stories. Philly, if you have not seen what Philly is going on in Philly, I've always thought Philly is trash. I've been saying Philly is trash for a long fucking time. It really revolves around the New York Football Giants and everything else in Philly, but this is really what's going on. They have a strike.
Insane, dude. Oh my god. I bet it stinks so bad, dude.
Do you see that? Apparently they have sites. There's garbage everywhere. These containers are filling up within seconds. They're paying third-party people because their guys are striking. They want more money. This is where I can't get with the union people. You have a job. You guys want more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And you don't realize something. Every time you ask for more, it's from us. And is the best way to get money from the taxpayers to make them live amongst their own garbage in their streets? I don't know. I watching this type of stuff, it just bothers the ever living hell out of me. I got to tell you. Now a little follow up. Let's check this guy. Hey, not the Yahoo. Gronk did a phenomenal job. So let's do a couple different things. I want to follow up on something. I'm looking actually for the screenshot, and I'm not sure I have it. So, yeah, here it is. I think this is it. Yep, there you go. CEO of the weather modification technology company has confirmed that cloud seeding operations took place in Texas just 2 days before the flood occurred, and he says it does not mean they are connected. So, once again, I just wanted to follow up with you. Monday, I gave you a very good breakdown of the cloud seeding that is taking place in Texas, right above Kirk County and right below Kirk County. It was taking place throughout that entire time. When I bring you something, I am bringing you confirmed information. That's one of the reasons why I kind of held off on the the missing minute. If you guys heard of this, the missing minute of the Epstein tapes, The Epstein tapes were very interesting because when they came, they definitely had a missing minute there, and it started getting its way around social media. I could not independently confirm it with a lot of different sources, and the God's honest truth is I don't trust a lot of sources. But when people start saying things like this, then I believe what they say because they're admitting that it actually took place. So here's Pam Bondi confirming it.
Every night they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999, and the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
And that's it on Epstein. Why didn't you get that minute added to it before you released the video? Was this another shit release like the Epstein when you brought everybody in and embarrassed the shit out of them by giving the Epstein files and they went out dancing with it? Why didn't you do the due diligence to get that minute and put it in so it didn't go all around like you were doing something shady? And then the weirdest part about this entire thing, it's weirder and fucking weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. This is the picture. If you look at the top picture is what everybody, I confirmed this today. Everybody had this top picture as Epstein's cell. Now it's the bottom. That doesn't look very similar. That doesn't look similar at all. The top is the cell that everybody reported, and then the bottom is what the video said. And then there's one more thing I want to touch on this, because I got to tell you, everything about this Epstein stuff is fucking weird. Everything about it. From the way Pam Bondi, the way Kash Patel, and I have a bunch of them, but I'm not going to get too excited because we are running late. But Trump was asked about it, playing right to his face, and this is where it's gonna bother me because I'm not being able to find this. But Trump is asked about this right to his face, and his answer was absolutely horrific. Where the hell is it? And I guess it's not in here. Oh, man, this is going to really, really, really bother me. I got to figure this out, guys, because I thought I had this in there. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Got it. Sorry. So Trump was asked about Epstein, and this is his comment.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Like a desecration, he says. Trump the way. I know my dad, he did not agree with me with what I said here, but the way he said, Jeffrey, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? As soon as I heard him say that, it reminded me of this skit from Dave Chappelle.
People who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil.
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
Didn't it? Are we still talking Jeffrey Epstein? All right, clear the fucking room. You know, it's the problem is you guys owned this. You owned it for votes. Now you own it. You didn't need to own this. This is a tactical error. You guys have made series after series of tactical errors. If you ask me, that's getting your own base to turn against you. A. Caldery says, really sad what's going to happen in New York, New Jersey, not far behind. Jay Calda says, Philly isn't a mess. It always has been. Fresh Mike says, such BS. They are all using AI. They have to be using AI with a lot of this stuff. And it started with one of the releases with the Maha stuff that they put out. And remember about a month ago, I reported on this, where they put it all out and had 4 or 5 citations that didn't even exist. Like it was just made up. And we all know that AI can hallucinate. I mean, they definitely could hallucinate. They somehow hallucinated this image. The Netanyahu. I don't know why I find that so fucking funny, but I definitely do. Mama Duke says, "Oh wow, Mike, what the hell? I have no idea what the hell." And Jay Callis says, "I never believed the video was broken. Having worked in the prison, when a camera went down, the inmate would be moved." Well, you know, you had worked in the prison. Have you ever worked in the prison where the guards apparently just fall asleep? Where they also have a camera that was removed, where you had Jeffrey Epstein. Let me ask you a question, Jay Cal, to put it in the chat. When you were in prison, did the people in solitary confinement, lockdown, the ones that were on suicide watch, did they have things in their room they could hang themselves with? Just asking. I am just asking that question. And let's finish up, if we can, with something fun before I get going on this. Let's finish up with something fun. This is great advice.
Man, look, bro. Here, take this.
What the fuck is this?
Here, take this.
What is this for?
Nigga, get y'all some bitches starter kit. Nigga, what y'all have an all-dick pool party, motherfucker?
Damn, what the?
Damn, Pop. We just started. He's tripping, bro. I hate this.
What do you have, an all-dick pool party over here? Get you some bitches starter kit. Hey, that is great advice. If you can, go to Mike Calderese on my Facebook page. You could get your bitches starter kit for $19.99 in a subscription to Center Cut Media. Listen, I really appreciate all you guys joining me tonight. Yankee68 says that was funny. Damn right, that was funny. Mama Duke says none of these ass clowns is taking pedophilia seriously. No, they aren't. They aren't taking pedophilia seriously. This is the final point I'm gonna say on this. They're not taking pedophilia seriously, but somehow, some way, we're going after James Comey and John Brennan because they went after Trump. That takes priority. We care more about that. We would talk about that today, but we can't possibly be talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey? I don't know. This needs to be nipped in the bud very, very, very fast. And I've been saying this for a while. These unforced errors, we cannot be talking about this shit. We have to be talking about what is working and what is good. And there's a lot of things good, and that's getting brushed right under the radar. Listen, everybody, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you figure the hell out of that like button. I hope you appreciate this show. If you do appreciate this show, I really appreciate it. If you message me, call me out. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if there's something that you want to see. This show is for me, but it's also for you, especially some of my hardcore people that are in the chat all the time. Yankee68, Mama Dukes, Jay Calda, Big E McD, A Goon, all of you guys. I really appreciate all you being here, but this show is, once again, for you. So if there's something you want to see, if there's something you want to add, go ahead and message me at any time. Email me at mikec@centercutmedia.com. I really appreciate it if you do that. And also check out everybody that supports me. Fresh Mike, like I said, the Nooner Show Wednesdays, they do a great job. PT Pod, Fresh Mike just had the Slap Champion. He does Slap on his show, and he integrates a lot of this stuff. So they do watch-alongs and the whole 9 yards. But they had one of the Slap Champions, Babyface. Check that out. Check out that interview. It was really cool. They do a great job, and definitely the Nooner Show. The Nooner Show had me laughing my ass off today. And once again, topics that'll make you think, things that I don't agree with. I didn't agree with a lot of the things that Vern was saying today, but it's just very interesting to hear that point of view. And if it works for you, it works for you. That's why we're not all exactly the same. That's the beauty of this. So thank you guys very much for joining us. Once again, be your own caltrop. I say this all the time, but you need to be your own version of a caltrop. You need to not let in the media bullshit. You need to stop regurgitating all of the stuff that they're trying to get you to regurgitate. Keep your mind clear of trash and think critically about everything. And when you really sit down and say, I don't know much, I'm going to try to listen to these people and figure out who makes more sense. That's what I think we all need to be doing. Ask more questions. Become your own caltrop. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be there for you because we are your defense mechanism from all the bullshit, all the fake, all the lies. And we here are going to give you the information. And there's a lot of people that say that, but we're going to give you the information. What I want you to do with it is process it in your own head. And I hope you don't agree with me with everything I say. But I hope you're not going to turn me off because you don't agree with me. I hope I can make you think, and then you can return the favor and make me think. And hopefully by not agreeing with each other, we come to a better conclusion than what we would have came to on our own. And that's the only way we do this. That's the only way we get ahead. Is if we like they say, iron sharpens iron. Let's sharpen each other's iron. Sharpen the shit out of the iron of the Caltrop. Figure that like button. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you Friday night with Fresh Mike. Be sure to tune into that one. Later.